Tuesday, Show Me the Money Club, live Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. If you want to catch us on YouTube, you can also catch us on all major podcasting platforms after the fact as well too, or the replay. You might want to watch it so you can actually see some of the screenshots that we're showing instead of listening. But either way, Sergio, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I forgot my background. I forgot to change my background.
It's all right. It's all good.
Is that okay?
You got
People are going to go.
You know what you got to do is put it to the AFC East champs, Buffalo Bills.
I was going to mention that. And
Yes.
can I change my background while I'm doing this, or no? I shouldn't touch it.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so you go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Well, first off, did you catch that game Sunday night?
I caught the highlights, about 10 minutes of it. I can't watch the whole game, buddy. It lasts too long. I mean, but then I saw the snow. Holy shit! I mean, are you guys dealing with that shit now?
We were, but here's the great part. So I'm not that far from the stadium, and this is how Lake Effect works. Lake Effect is literally cutting by a knife. So one side of the street can get snow, the other side of the street can get nothing. And yeah, so it's wild how it can be. So the stadium was getting snow the whole entire time. We were getting it every once in a while it would pop up. But for the most part, we didn't really get anything. So it was kind of nice because like I don't have to worry about shoveling or any of that crap. So wow. I was done with that. But let me tell you, that game, if you didn't watch that game, it was a Sunday night game, so it was national. But holy crap, that was such a good game when it came to a snow football game. The whole game, it was snowing, and it was like going back to a high school football game when it came to the run game. But then the Bills just said, you know what, this is just normal. So they just put it on, and man, they crushed it. And thank you, Miami, for losing, because now the Bills are 5-time in a row AFC East champs. And KC fans out there, you guys, you're getting very, very lucky by playing mediocre teams. And if you keep it up, you might lose that #1 seed, and you might not make it far into the playoffs with that. Because, yeah, I'd be worried if I was a KC fan right now. But either way, I digress. It was a great game. I had a lot of fun watching it, and go Bills.
Well, it's my luck, bro. I became a Buffalo Bills fan. Look where they are, and then they'll probably win the Super Bowl. Now I'll start watching the whole game, actually.
I don't know. All I know is I would love to see and I put this on X. I said the fix is in Detroit Lions versus Buffalo Bills for the Super Bowl.
Well, okay. All right. Well, since I became a Buffalo Bills fan this year, I think it was the third game, right? Anyway, and now my own team, Barcelona, is sputtering. We lost 2 games already. I'm going like, this is bad. But then the league is 38 games long, so we have some time to go. But anyway, so yeah, congrats to the Buffalo Bills, AFC champions.
Oh yeah,
AFC. What is it? AFC East.
5 weeks, and like 5th time in since 1980 or something like that. So it doesn't happen that with 5 weeks to go left in the season. So yeah, good to see that they clinched. I mean, the rest of the AFC sucks. Miami is doing fair, but yeah, just goes to show you. Either way, great game. That pass and touchdown reception that Allen had was pretty crazy. So pretty wild there. I think that's only happened like 3 or 4 other times. So pretty wild. But either way, just finished 12 hours driving, made $300 upfront payments, and Uber owes you 200 mileage for pay requirements. Well, you're in the
right place, sir.
You're in luck, roulette wheel, because we're going to be talking about that. We also have a Minnesota native coming on, Joe, our very own Joe, coming on in just a few moments. So with that being said, let's get right into the rundown. Yes, we're going to have Joe, our RSG contributor, who is in that area, coming on to talk about that, what's going on. We're also going to be talking about the UberX Priority, explaining it in more detail versus it's just a pay increase for what you're going to make, which was last week's. We're also going to be talking about drivers research on UberX Priority. We're also going to be talking about Lyft gaining on Uber, according to an analysts. That's going to be more your wheelhouse when it comes to the analysts. But we're also going to be talking about rideshare trends and earnings coming from October 24, what they're telling us. UberX Shared is a privilege. Some of you may have seen that. Some of you may not have not. That's coming.
Yeah.
Uber. UberX Shared is a privilege. What the hell does that mean? When I saw that before I actually read it, I'm like, you got to be joking me, right? But it's actually not that bad of a thing for drivers. Minnesota driver minimum wage protections begin. We're going to be talking about that. Also, the FTC is going after Uber. Scammers outsmarting Uber constantly. What's going on there? Laura Loomer. Not a political show, but Laura Loomer is kicked off the Uber Lyft platform as a rider. And then we got a funny story that I came across, and you guys, I think, are going to get a little bit of a laugh out of it. And Sergio, I'm sure you will as well.
I don't know what it is, so I'm sure I will. I don't know what it is. You said it's a surprise, so I'll just wait until the end. Can I mention a couple things? Okay, so for everybody in Florida, I mean, Florida is huge, obviously, but I'm going to be in Florida, in Tampa. I don't know how many of you are in Tampa, but I will put out a short video actually before I show up. I'm going to come in or fly in on the, what's today? The 3rd, 10th, 11th. I'm going to come in on the 11th, leave on the 13th or 14th, one or the other. But I will put out a short video on the channel. Please check it out. Please come say hello. It's for an InDrive event. It's for the launch of InDrive in Tampa, Florida. They're going to have a great driver meetup at a local watering hole. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be food and merch and all that good stuff. But I'm going to be there. Please show up. Please say hello, and let's have a good time. But again, details to come. Because I just got confirmation of the location of where it's at. So there you go.
Right. Anything more?
No.
All right. Well, let's bring. Okay. Well, let's bring Joe on. Joe, how you doing?
How's it going, boys?
Oh, it's a going. How you doing?
Joe the man, holding the Rideshare Guy up.
Yeah. Okay.
Seriously. So Joe, he's our wonderful contributor from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he's in his car. He's gonna go do some trips. He's been doing some trips with the new what was it again? $1.31 a mile.
I believe it's $1.28.31 per mile.
$1.28.31. Somebody in the chat says from Minnesota made $525. I'm not sure. Everybody's moving to Minneapolis now. Is that? I think his calculations may be wrong. Roulette wheel. Is that you? How do you make that kind of money? On 12-hour shift, he made $525 according to him. I don't know. We will have to straighten that out. Hopefully, you're not going to be disappointed. Anyway, so you've been driving with it for a couple of days, right? It kicked in when? On the 1st?
The 1st, yeah. So Sunday. Yep.
Okay. What do you see? Early impressions.
Lyft. I feel like Lyft has not reflected the new pricing. Uber definitely has to a certain extent on the longer trips, but they still, like, I'm going to need top offs on both platforms. And I've seen tons of requests. I've declined a ton. I'm going to be doing a video, putting together a video this week on my initial experience. And I'm excited to crunch those numbers to see what that top off should be. And again, it's period 3, not period 2.
Only period 3, people. It's only period 3, right?
Only period 3. Yep.
So can you tell our audience what period 3 is, Joe?
Period 3 is when you're transporting a passenger.
Okay, so you picked somebody up, butt in the back seat, going to destination. That's period 3.
Yep.
128 and 31 only applies to period 3.
So period 2, yeah, period 2 pickup mileage. That's what I want. I need to get back to. All right, I need short pickups. Like, I don't want those long pickups anymore. Yep.
Yep. And the other thing is, are you going to change your behavior for that 10 seconds that you used to calculate what to reject and what not to reject and stuff like that? Are you going to do more longer trips? This may be good for longer trips.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to trying to do 10-mile or longer trips. I need to occupy that time. And I'll accept minimum fare rides that are, really short rides. Otherwise, the middling stuff, which I was implementing this strategy for a while, the stuff in between where I'm, 3.5 miles to pick up, 3.5 mile trip, those ones just aren't going to be worth it. They just aren't, because I'm not getting, they had reflected the pricing prior to this with that pickup mileage, But now it's like they can sort of reflect it, but they're really not gonna. Plus, I'm gonna be getting paid, extra because of the. So I need to hit that top. I'm not gonna hit that top off amount as much if I'm driving all that pickup mileage. That pickup mileage is just essentially dead mileage.
So do you think this is going to increase the wait time of passengers?
I honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know how other drivers, if they're aware, like they're going to have to crunch their numbers, figure out. I mean, it's pretty simple. Like you want short pickups and you want long rides. That's essentially what you want. And you obviously want to get compensated properly for them, but there is that top off. If you're not getting paid that $1.28 per mile, 31 cents per minute, you're going to get topped off to that point. Now, if I'm completing shorter rides that are paying, maybe $2 per mile, that top off isn't going to be as much, but the shorter rides are going to pay me $6, and those are not going to be much. But
so when you talk about top off, educate our audience how that part works as well.
Yeah, so what they'll do after, I think it's a 2-week period, they'll calculate how many miles we've driven, how many minutes we've driven
on period 3.
What's that?
On period 3.
Period 3, pickup mileage. Period 2 does not matter. They'll calculate that mileage, and then I believe they'll multiply it by $1.28, 31 cents per minute, wherever my earnings are, wherever that $1.28, 31 cents is, to reach that $1.28, 31 cents. That gap, that will be the top off if I'm not there. Now, if I'm above it, then there's no top off. But at least this first couple of days, the fares are good. They're better, I would say. Although on Lyft, they seem similar to what they were last week. So I don't know.
Lyft's algo is not ready yet. Algo is not ready yet. So Uber was ready already, but Lyft algo is not ready yet. But they'll catch up. So overall, okay, so you are going to change strategy, because this is all about here. We're about at the Rideshare Guy, not work harder, smarter, all that stuff, right?
Yep.
So you'll figure it out probably in about a week or so to how to adapt to the new game. I mean, you certainly don't want to work for top offs, because top offs to me are a cop out. Top offs to me is returning your own money to you after borrowing it from you. I don't know, $140 billion company taking an interest-free loan from you and then sending it back to you 2 weeks later. That's what it is to me. In California, that would Prop 22. Same thing is going to happen there. So what they may do is they may really just crush the rates, float that money for 2 weeks, but then I don't know how big of a market Minneapolis or Minnesota is, how much money it's. I mean, in California, it's huge money, but I don't know. So, so you will let us know. But initial, what do you think? Okay, so what do you think your strategy change is going to be from what you've been doing up till the 1st of December?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's going to be those longer trips, shorter pickups. I need to, when I see those upfront fares, I need to look at that pickup distance. Obviously with Uber, I have 10 seconds to calculate that. Actually, the last 3 fares I'm driving today, the last 3 fares I just got were fantastic. I think, and that's like, it was, they were kind of just like, they weren't what I've been seeing in the past couple of days. I saw one on Uber. I gave a ride on Uber. I think it was 10 miles, 25 minutes, or no, 10 miles, 30 minutes. It paid me $25. So that's essentially $50 per hour. Now that ride, I probably have, I'd say a handful of rides I've given, maybe 40 rides. I'd say 5 of them won't need to be topped off. Otherwise, the rest of them need to be topped off. So Uber, especially on the longer rides with Uber, I've seen the rates reflected sort of. They're still not paying the $1.28, 31 cents. So those are going to have to be topped off. But with Lyft, like I say, and like you said, they have not updated their algorithm. Their pricing is the same. But yeah, the top off, like I say, I'm going to be doing that video this week. I'm excited to crunch numbers and see what that top off is. But yeah, eventually, Serge, like hopefully the algorithms figure it out. And like I say, the majority of rides, all the fares, and I've declined plenty of requests. None of them are reaching the top or the top what we should be getting paid, which is the 28.31 cents.
Well, that's what they're going to do. I mean, that's what they do in California. That's what they do in a lot of these prop states, Massachusetts now, New York State, and Minnesota. Do they top off? No, they top off. They bundle them all together for 2 weeks. That's why they take 2 weeks. I don't know why 2 weeks, but then that's what they're going to do. I mean, the math is going to be pretty simple, actually. I don't think it's that confusing, but I think what's going to happen is that I'm pretty sure when you received a ping before the December 1st, you were adding the pickup time and mile to the P2, P3, and then figuring it out how many miles, dollar to miles and stuff. Now you have to kind of retrain your eyes.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Correct. Yeah, it's all about that period 3, the actual pickup mileage. It's all about that now. Now, I mean, yeah, there'll be times where I'm out on, in a rural area where I will be okay with, 4 or 5 mile pickup just to get a ride. But if I'm downtown Minneapolis, I'm not driving 3 or 4 miles to pick someone up anymore. That doesn't matter. That mileage doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I got an email, actually 2 emails today, in fact. Actually, one yesterday, one today. It was from a rural area Minnesota driver. And she was complaining, saying that this is horses, you know what? And she was like, everything here is a 10-mile pickup. And, I mean, and then there aren't enough drivers. There's not enough demand, like a Tri-City area, which is always busy, right? So she goes, I'm losing here, right? Because it's 10-mile pickup, 2-mile drop-off. What good is 121 and 128 and 31, right? Well, one good thing about 128 and 31, by the way, is that each year it's going to get adjusted for inflation up.
Yeah.
So that's one good thing. The second thing that's kicking in, you guys don't have paid time off, sick time. You guys don't have any of that stuff, or healthcare stipend. You don't have that either. But what's going to happen is, I think in January sometime, you guys are going to have some sort of disability insurance kicking in, okay, which is important. Meaning, the reason they put that in, Joe, is because there was a driver who was on a trip, and he ended the trip, and then he got assaulted. And it didn't. And then Uber said, well, Uber's insurance company said, we're not going to cover, the trip was over. But now they put that in the law that the duration after the trip is ended, coverage continues. So that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to, wait for your videos and wait for your, calculations. And then I'm sure you'll do a video on how you're accepting trips now versus before, right?
Absolutely.
So, anything else you want to add? I mean, it's new, I know, but you've been driving with it. It seems like you're liking it so far.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, yesterday I think I was like 80% Uber trips, just because they were reflecting the new rates more than Lyft was. I gave a handful of Lyft rides. Today it's been a little bit more balanced. I'm just interested to see how, especially when Lyft adjusts their algorithm eventually, how those upfront fares start to look. But yeah, it's like I say, it's within the first 2 days here. So I've seen some good fares. The last 3 that I've just given were really good, probably paying at least $40 per hour. And they were longer trips. All trips were longer than 10 miles. So yeah, I'm just going to be on the hunt for those, and video this week. We'll probably publish it, Chris, in maybe a week and a half or something. So yeah.
Yeah, my advice is for people in Minnesota, I know I'm going to get tons of emails saying, oh, they're not paying 128 and 31. I know I'm going to get that. I know I'm going to get countless emails like that. Yep. And I'm going to say, well, you're going to get it in 2 weeks. So, because a lot of drivers, don't pay attention to the small details, but then we'll see. I mean, I'm actually, I think it's going to be an increase for driver pay. I don't think it's going to be this massive increase, but I think comparing the 128 and 31 to the rate card you had before, I'm pretty sure that's an improvement.
It should be honestly, it should be like I say, I'm interested in crunching the numbers. From what I've seen so far, it should be quite a hike. Now, what percentage that will be, I'll see. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
now I want to know, how is surge and bonuses going to play into effect with that rate change? Because essentially it's going to be included into your wage guarantee. So if you get extra surge on a particular rides, they can just float down money on other trips, so it all equals out. So almost essentially surge and weekly quests could become irrelevant.
Bingo.
And actually hurt you essentially.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a quest here. God, I haven't seen a quest here in probably months. I'll occasionally see a weekend quest, but I haven't seen a quest in no ride challenge bonuses with Lyft. Seldom see surge or per ride bonuses with Lyft. But yeah, I mean, I can assume that they would just tie that right into, you know, the total what we're earning, which is what it is. I mean, it's not, like I say, I'm not seeing those types of bonuses very often here, but they will tie that in. I guarantee it.
Yeah, they're going to make the money on the back end. They're going to surge it on the Rider app anyway, and then they're just not going to show it to you and then tie everything into 128 and 31. And look, they're not going to lose on this. They didn't agree to this because they're going to lose. Although there were some articles I saw that, oh, the fares are going up in Minnesota. I'm like, Jesus Christ, these journalists, bro. They have no clue what they're saying, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Well, looking forward to those videos, buddy. You be safe.
In my data, I think I'm gonna try and include the passenger payments as well, just to see what those passenger payments are and see how that compares. But yeah, yep.
I'm looking forward to it. Anything else to add? We'll let you go make some money.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Back to it. Back to it.
You be safe out there and keep us posted.
I will, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Best. Joe is the best, bro. Joe's the best of the rideshare guy. I'm telling you. His shit is hot. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see his numbers. Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to that because
absolutely,
you know, he always keeps good details when it comes to what he's making and all of that in comparison.
You know,
so it'll
definitely dollars as time and distance rates. This is the second highest other than Seattle. Don't forget, New York City. Yep. New York City and Minnesota are New York City may be a touch higher, but they have, as a driver in New York City, you have so many hoops you have to run through. You have so many more licenses you have to get to. Expenses are a lot more, what I'm trying to say in New York City.
Oh, yeah. And then they're talking about redoing the congestion tax there.
Yeah,
so,
but I think the drivers are going to make more money. And then we'll see if it's going to be oversaturated like everywhere else, because these rates, 128 and 31, I mean, that's pretty damn good, bro. I mean, comparing it to what I had before upfront fares, which was 60 cents a mile and 21 cents a minute.
Yeah. I think you know what? Right here, Mike just put in a good comment. It's effectively a pay ceiling, and I think that's what it's going to be. Because all they're going to do is they're going to float it down. So they're going to do the Uber Eats pay method. And that is, we're going to pay you like 50%, and then we're going to float the money for the 2 weeks, and then we'll pay you the top off once that comes. But the problem is, if you have those bonuses, if you have those challenges, if you have those surges, anything that adds to that, minus tips, because tips are supposed to be on top of, whether that happens or not, who knows. But when it comes to those bonuses and stuff, that's all going to be aggregated into your total and then divide out by what you're supposed to make. And that's where your top off is. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as effective, but when you're making those types of rates, you know, it could be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to try to keep your P3 time as much as the hour as possible. Hello, Maria. I'm going to be in Tampa on the 11th and 12th and 13th. Vinny's here. He's from Florida. How far are you from Tampa, Vinny? Since I'm coming to, I know you said Florida is closed to strangers from California, especially Californians. But you said I can show up, so I'm showing up. I don't know how far you are from Tampa, but I would definitely love to see you all, Tampa crowd or Florida crowd.
4 hours.
4 hours. Holy shit! No, well, I ain't driving that far, unless you grab a trip come my way. But
that's like people are like, that's what when people are like, oh, hey, you should. I'm going to be in New York City. Great. That's depending on where in New York you are. That's going to be like a 5.5 hour to 7 hour drive.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually do a video, put it out, but then next week I will also see, now I opened the can of worms. You will know because I'm gonna do a video, put it on the channel, and with all the details. It's going to be
Well,
somewhere
not
near
only
the
that,
Tampa, somewhere near the Tampa airport, somewhere near the Tampa airport. So
yeah, and not only that, we have our show next week, so you'll probably have all of that information beforehand too.
oh,
So
exactly,
just make sure
exactly,
you'll watch the show tomorrow
exactly.
or next week as well, when
Exactly.
he'll announce those things.
There, see,
No, I don't have.
Cheeky Chops is there.
We got snow. We got about 15 inches where I live, but
Okay.
other areas got it much worse than we did. So I'm
Well, I
glad that.
didn't know. So anyway, I will put out the details. We'll actually also post it on the Rideshare Guy community page, and should be a fun time. And I'm debating to stay 2 nights or 3 nights just to see the boys in Florida. But then if one is 4 hours away, Trent I think is 2 hours away. I don't know how far Jeff is. I don't think anybody's going to drive 4 hours to come see me. So I'm like, hey, shit, I'll buy you guys lunch if you show up, though. You know? Anyway, so, all right, let's get into it.
All right. So we've got a couple of things to talk about, which we've already talked about what we're going to be. But let's talk about UberX. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, UberX Priority,
Ooh.
the explanation of it a little bit more than just it's a pay increase.
There you go. Okay. So we talked about this last week, but I want to finish this because I got a lot of emails, and one email I put it up from Catherine. If you're watching, Catherine, amazing. I mean, she does this amazing emails, bro, and she condenses everything, puts the screenshots in. That's why this by far is the best audience, rideshare audience. Period.
Oh yeah, and you're going to see that in the next topic, how everything's
Most
lined up.
knowledgeable,
Done.
and they make my life so easy because I get too many emails. So again, this is from my app. UberX Priority showed up, and then finally, after we talked about it, 2 days after last Tuesday, Chris, they sent me this in-app message.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, they did. Uber, because we didn't know, nobody knew what the heck it was, right? And I'm like, and the people at Uber are watching, and then they're all like, "What? We didn't tell the drivers what this was? It just showed up." I'm like, "Yeah." and then this shows up because UberX Priority for passengers in a hurry. You now have the opportunity to make more on trips when nearby riders request a priority pickup. This is from my app. UberX Priority is now available in your city. UberX Priority pays an additional amount compared to UberX, which will be shown to you on the trip offer card. Have full control over your trip preferences. UberX Priority is now a separate option to UberX. How much you want to bet in like 3 months it'll be inside UberX?
Well, because everybody will turn UberX off. They want Priority or any other service.
My X Share and Comfort are all in one. Yeah. And they used to be all separate. Yeah, I mean, UberX Priority now separate option. So now what I can do, this is Fight Club words, but hey, I'm going to say it anyway. I'm just going to click UberX Priority. I'm going to click off everything else, drive right in a sticky search, grab it, and then grab that thing, because I could do it with Uber Pet too, but what the hell, just try UberX Priority, grab my sticky, and then drive around, and then turn on UberX and grab a shorty, and then go on with my life.
Wrong.
No, we got an explanation, Robert. Come on, man.
Wrong.
So now it says you can turn this option on and off anytime. This means you can receive UberX Priority requests without opting into UberX. Meaning, you can do this by visiting the preferences section. So just click on UberX Priority. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to click UberX Priority and collect that extra juice that they are shaving off the base fare, though.
That's what I was just going to say. See, here's the problem with your collecting the surge, because your collection of the surge on Uber Pet or UberX Priority is not going to be the same, because they're just going to shave it off the base fare. And then that way it's going to equal itself out. So maybe you'll get a little bit more, but in reality, you're probably not. All they're going to do is just lower the UberX fare.
Probably so. Because I'm telling you, when I look at my Rider app, and if I click Priority, bro, there's a massive difference between UberX and UberX Priority. I mean, the Rider is paying like really a lot more than a regular UberX trip.
You know what's
So,
funny? When I looked it up last year, or I mean, last year, when I looked it up last week when we were doing it, UberX Priority was cheaper than an UberX.
yeah. Well, really? Did you
Yeah.
have a flash discount? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm actually opening it up right now just to see.
So just remember, Sergio, the bulk of the rides are going to come through UberX and X Share. Yes, that's true. That's how they find the ants, no matter what tier you sit at. Okay, cool.
Oh no, now it's
Yeah.
$2 more.
It's well, it's you in LA, it's a lot more. Anyway, so now I have this choice of UberX Priority. I'm putting money on it over under 3 months that it's going to be combined with UberX Share and Comfort. Period. That's what I'm betting on. We'll see. 3 months over under. That's my over under bet. Anyway, so this is this
Now we have a Connect Saver and a Connect Express. Whoa.
on your app.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
So now you can get a drug mule for 2 ways: Connect Saver and Connect Express.
Yeah, UberX Teen Priority. Let's not go there at all. What?
Lynn got a $500 tip on DoorDash. Holy shit.
What is that? Like 8 million packages? $500 tip. Oh, tip. What'd you do? Like a catering order? I don't know. Holy crap. I'm sure you're gonna post that on X, right? There you go. We'll go check it out. Congrats. Holy crap.
So
$500. My best tip was $100 cash.
Nice little Christmas bonus there. But anything more on UberX Priority?
No,
I don't know.
So now we know what it is.
There you go. So
yeah.
it's a little bit more than it's just going to pay you more. They don't tell you how much or anything like that. So
well, now we have a choice of just selecting that. Right? Yeah. That's it.
Which
just
I'm not going to complain about. I mean, if you want to do more top tier or like comfort, if you want to do it's tied in. So never mind. If you want to do like inner city priority, XL if you have it, pet, those types of things are.
Look at that one. That's not funny, bro. No, they're not going to take the tip back. Once the tip is in, cash out, Lynn. Cash out immediately.
Yeah, but then when you wake up tomorrow morning and you turn your app back on, it's going to say negative $495.
Let's not rain on her parade. $500. Holy shit. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Go put it all on Dogecoin now. Oh man. Okay.
All right.
So
well, moving on. Let's talk about a little bit more on UberX Priority when a driver puts the research towards it. And this is the one that Sergio was talking about when it came to the driver who emailed everything. So here's the email, and then we'll put the screenshots up right after that.
Unbelievable. Okay. She does such great work, and then she sends it, and I know it's going up. So if you guys do this, you're coming up. You're going up. Okay. So anyway, Sergio, I've had access to priority rides. Like a lot of people have been saying in the chat, my eyes kind of catching a few. They go, oh, I had priority for 2 years. Well, here you go. I have had access to priority rides for at least last April 2024, but I even think it's longer. I just wasn't going to go back further on my screenshots, and I don't think it was an option. Okay. So we'll see the screenshots in a minute. I will attach the original files in case you don't want Canva sheets. I mean, she does great work, bro. And long story short, she goes, what I have noticed with Uber recently is that they are asking me on the regular to drive retarded distances to passengers for terrible money. And I'm not sure how that works with their green agenda. But Uber is shitting the pan around here these days. I'm at 6% acceptance rate, was at 4, not sure how it went up. That clock is broken. Once in a while it goes up, but then you all should be on the new AR system. I just got on the new AR system as of December 2nd. AR and CR are calculated as of the last 100 instead of 200. So now you can push your AR. You can do like a hell week and push your AR if you really need high AR. So one more thing, all surges are gone again. By the way, she drives in Virginia area. Remember when they said they were bringing dollar surge back, this was one of the places that they got rid of the dollar surge. Remember, they just put those red cloud. You remember? And then we got involved kind of, and then it came back.
Arrows.
Yeah. Well, it took all of a month of glorious dollar surges before the hybrid gray cloud surge maps appeared, and now it's only gray clouds. That could be oversaturation, but when it started happening, I was checking the passenger app, and I really started thinking the gray clouds are the hidden surge. Anyway, thanks for reading. And this is what she does. So she put together a whole bunch of priority. Look at this shit, Chris. Who does this, bro?
Damn.
Who does this? Look at this, people. If you're going to send me shit, send me like this. You're going up. Done. Finished. And obviously, she's good with graphics. So on all these trips go back as far back as April 15, 2024, as she said in her letter. So if you can, I mean, they're a little small, the screenshots, but if you see the priority number, she has underlined each one of those, right? And Chris, if you look at the evolution of that priority dollar number, it's kind of getting less and less and less and less, right? If you look at like April, if you look at like you know what I mean? The typical, typical little downtrend.
I mean, the April numbers are 350, 359. Then you go to the beginning of October. I'm sorry, some July, May, and mostly October. You're seeing, 359, 349. You're seeing a 589, $1.97. Then you go into the late Octobers, and you're seeing, $1.80, $1.53. Then you go to November, and now you're seeing $1.80, $2.50, $4.30. So I mean, it's sort of going down overall. It's probably trending that way, but and then to the later numbers, we're going mid-November. Now you're looking. It's still three. I mean, right there's $3 all in mid-November.
Well, but $3. But if you look at the upfront fare amounts, right? Like that $22 trip or $26 trip, on the longer trip to get picked up faster because they're going further, the priority markup for the rider was a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So on a shorter one, I can understand $1.50, couple of bucks here and there. But on the longer ones, where the upfront was 28, 22 or 22.68 up there, I think they are definitely shaving some of the priority. But again, look, they're saying it's more money. Anything with upfront fares, 5% more with Advantage, Turbo on Lyft, Boost Plus, Active Hour, whatever the frick it is now. All of this surge, all bonuses, all extra money could be manipulated with upfront fares by lowering the base fare. Basically, it is nothing but fare replacement, period. That's what's happening, right? The algo is like on up, play down, play up. I'm going like, yeah. So
I'm liking some of these pickup distance. They're like 23 minutes, 24 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
On priority. Nope, there's no one closer. Sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, that's what they do. That's how they get you. And I'm really curious about Joe's research coming up. Because everybody at some point is going to figure out, I ain't going to do like 2-minute pickup, 2-minute drop-offs, right? 1 mile pickup, 1 mile drop-off.
I'm not going to do 8-minute pickups, 2 minutes for the ride.
4-mile pickup, 2-mile drop-off. Nobody's going to pick that up now. Well, I hope nobody picks it up. Actually, I should do an article about how to adjust your your game. But we know 90% of Uber's trips are 6 miles or less. That's the data. So if you have that kind of thing going on, and everybody's gunning for these longer trips now to fill up that active hour, right? Because look, 31 cents a minute. What is that? It's 60. It's $18, 19 bucks, right? Just on the hour part. And if you grab a 40-mile trip, that you can do in an hour at $1.28, that's 50 plus the 18. That's like $70 trip. You're looking at $70 active hour. I'm like, I just do like 5 of those a day and go home. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe that $500 that they were talking about earlier.
That's how this guy did it. I think. What is this guy? Roulette wheel. Roulette wheel. Is that what you did? Holy shit, man!
That might be it.
525. Is that all you did? Just grab those long trips, but then you drove a lot more miles, though. You had dead miling, right? I mean, I don't know. There is always a, there is always a catch there. So actually, roulette wheel. Email me. Today's see, he says I did long trips only. Okay, email me your daily earnings, and then maybe I'll do an article with that. Seriously, I should do that. Okay, cool. And right. Jeff says, but you have to live in Minnesota. Yeah, oh, well, nothing wrong with Minnesota, Jeff.
Well, I mean, you can also get your tampons and build boys' bathrooms, so it's okay.
Oh, come on, bro. By the way, now that he's gone, I mean, he's not the VP candidate anymore. Is Welts back to being governor? Welts, whatever his name was?
I don't know, maybe.
Is that what they do?
I mean, I don't think
they don't get that job. That job is safe.
I don't think he quit. I don't know.
Yeah, but don't you have to quit, like, to run for vice president? How does that work, people? Did he get his job back, Governor Waltz?
I don't know.
That was some quirky bastard, bro.
All right. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about Lyft gaining ground on Uber, according to some analysts.
Yeah, I did talk to
the big tree's getting cut down, the little tree's getting some water and some sun, and it's starting to grow.
The outperformance has been extremely noticeable, specifically to me. Now, when I say outperformance, we're going to talk about 2 minutes of finance here. So there's something called outperformance, meaning in the same group or space, you have many, many different stocks. In Rideshare, there's only 2. Uber shares have been outperforming Lyft shares forever now, since they gone public, probably. Okay. But last 3-4 months, now we have Uber doing nothing but going sideways to lower, and Lyft is picking up. I remember I had a conversation with you a while ago, maybe a year ago. I said, okay, so Uber has 75% of the rideshare business. Lyft has 25% of the rideshare business. Okay. Uber is priced at $150 billion market cap. Lyft is priced at, they do the same shit. Lyft is priced at $5 billion market cap. That's 30-1, while one has 3/4 of the market, the other one has 1/4 of the market. Well, 3/4 and 1/4, I said this to you, you remember it. I said either Uber is too high, priced too high, the shares, or Lyft is too low, or a combination of both. Well, guess what? That's what's happening now a little bit. In fact, I did talk to an analyst last week, and not this guy, but yeah. So this is not financial advice. This is not investing advice. None of it. I'm saying Lyft is gunning for Uber, and if you were lucky enough to invest in Lyft shares at $10, $11, whatever it was, a couple of months ago, we're at 16. If you bought Uber in high 80s after the earnings, now it's 71. So I think this little gap closing is happening. So we're not going to bore you with too much of this stuff. But if you guys are interested in this, let me shamelessly plug my own finance channel at Sergio Avedian on YouTube. I talk about nothing but about these things, about Bitcoin, about MicroStrategy, about, whatever you guys want to talk about on finance, I'm there. So please go check that channel out. It's got great stuff. And that's it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. So let's see what happens.
Little tree coming up.
Yeah. Honestly, with the DoorDash partnership and Lyft, that plays for some growth there. Uber is all in-house, so you got Uber Eats, Uber, everything in there. But But yeah, when you got these other companies, and what was it last year, a year and a half ago or something? We were talking about hey, where's Lyft going to be in a year or two? I thought they were going to be partnered up or sold, and hey, they're beginning a partnership with DoorDash. Whether that leads to something more down the road, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and Lyft is actually doing better than Uber in Canada. So if you guys look at it, so Lyft is not global, obviously. Uber is a global conglomerate, but that doesn't mean that it's a good thing to be global, by the way, especially in rideshare and delivery. It's a headache. Like they got kicked out of China, they got kicked out of India, all that good shit, right? So Canada and US is where they compete. And I think Lyft is gaining some share from Uber in a huge market, by the way, Chris. TAM, total addressable market, is so huge that even 1% market share is massive, billions of dollars. So, yeah, Little Tree. I like the Little Tree, the way they're positioning themselves. The new management's doing okay. I think they are. And their stock options are doing okay too. So,
yeah, it's definitely something to see. And I wouldn't mind seeing the Little Tree get a little more sun and then grow up to be kind of like a big tree. Not necessarily against the big tree, but maybe they're around the same. Who knows? We'll see.
yeah, I agree.
Dude, that's been the analogy for the show for like since the third or second episode.
That was funny, bro. That was hilarious. And it was like, but then it's so appropriate though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So I don't know, Richard came in, or maybe the DoorDash trim tree program came in and said, we're going to cut down a little bit on the Uber tree.
Because DoorDash is kicking Uber Eats' ass for sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So there definitely is a good. I mean, seriously, whoever did that the deal between Lyft and, because DoorDash is the king when it comes to deliveries, so they could have done a deal with anybody. You know what I mean? And they do. But to go with Lyft, and obviously they weren't going to go with Uber Eats, but they could have done it with anybody. But to do it with Lyft, I think, was big for Lyft. It really was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some rideshare trends and earnings.
Yes,
Bum, bum, bum.
let's do that. So I have Solo, and look, a lot of people. Look, I'm going to be straight with you all. Third-party apps is not my favorite thing. Okay, but if you're there are a couple of things that I like as a veteran. Obviously, dash cam, you got to have a dash cam. But as a third-party app, Octopus, I think, is a no-brainer for me. Okay, no-brainer. I mean, it's free freaking money. You just hang the tablet back there, and you get $50 a month. If you drive a lot, maybe $100 a month. Done. But Solo, out of all the third-party apps, okay, including Upside, Chris, I think is probably the best app that you can get out there. We should have Bryce on again. Bryce Bennett, the CEO of Solo. It has so many good things in it. It's like all in one, seriously, from your taxes to your deductions to your expenses to how you're doing in your own city. Okay. I really like Solo quite a bit, and
Well,
link is in the show
one of
notes.
the things though, when it comes to this, is it's your own business, correct? Or it's
Yes.
touted as your own business.
Yeah.
So if you own your own business, you have to have different things that will help you, whether it's like QuickBooks or software or a CRM, customer relations management tool. All of these different tools you have to have on your business. So having something that's going to help you manage your business is necessary when it comes to running a business. Having something like Solo, which is kind of your all-in-one management tool when it comes to being a rideshare driver, is just that. You're getting your as you had mentioned, tax, expenses, your management of your earnings. Hell, they even have a earnings guarantee. So there's a lot to it. And then, not only that, the wealth of information that you can get as a rideshare driver is going to help you earn more money and have one step up over those who may not have that.
Well, then don't listen to us. Here's one of your audience members. Just digital simulations. I agree, 100%. And the other thing that it will do for you, Chris, is that, look, man, not everybody is good at what they do, or they complain that they're not earning enough and this and that. This should give you enough incentive to look at your city's average and say, well, why am I earning less? Start thinking, start strategizing, maybe change the game plan a little bit. So, because if you're going to be out there for 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and if you just improve your earnings, $2 an hour, two single dollars, that's $100 a week, $400 a month. That's $5,000 a year, man. So solo will give you all the tools to improve yourself. I mean, you're doing the work. Might as well make more money. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, one of the things too that I like about this is this earning trend.
Yeah.
And it says right there under the solo market pulse part, it says, in the evolving landscape of the gig economy, October 24 brought notable shifts and insights into rideshare and food delivery earnings across the U.S. For gig workers relying on platforms like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. Understanding earnings vary month over month across states, and even day of the week can be key. So all of that information is just good to have, so you can plan and position yourself properly in order to get out there and make more money. And then on top of that, they're also showing you, some of the states that have the highest earnings. And, I honestly, I wonder though, if some people do not actually want to download something like this because they don't want to see how bad they're doing compared to others, or they just want to live in this la la land that, hey, I go out there, I make X amount of dollars, and they don't actually see the true costs that it is associated when running that business as well, meaning, your car expenses, your maintenance, all of that stuff on top of it.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, it's not a surprise Washington State is there, right?
Oh, of course not.
And guess what's going to be next one? Minnesota is going to be there now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And look, I like it. Okay. I mean, look, what do you want me to say? It's a good app. It's the best third-party app that I know of that can help a driver. We had a bunch here. Okay. So out of all of them, if I can whittle it down to one app, and the other thing is, like, to me, it's a necessity these days. Really, you gotta run this shit like a business. Okay. And then it gives you all these stats, right? Month to month decreases, month to month increases. You have so much information at your fingertips. You should be able to make at least a few bucks an hour more in your own city, because you're looking at other drivers. How are they doing it? How you can adjust your game. This is all about adjusting the game. We're playing a simulation here. Don't look at it as work. Honestly, we're all part of a simulation. You need to change stuff if it's not working. Definition of insanity is do the same shit, expect different results, and then complain to Serge with an email. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. So,
you want to know though something that's interesting? What is Massachusetts minimum wage?
32.5.
Yep. Why is it not on there?
That's active. That's because it's active.
I know. That's the whole thing. That shows you it's active hour. So yeah, that's a little thing.
These are not active. These are online hours, by the way.
Yep.
Solo doesn't put active hours. Solo doesn't look at the hocus pocus active hour bullshit. So
yeah. So if you want to know what you're really making per hour, that helps as well too.
Yeah, online hour, bro.
I like some of these things though. It shows you, like, I want to know what's going on in Vermont, man. They saw the largest increase in rideshare earnings with 11% jump, moving from 2184 in September to 2425 per hour in October. That's a hell of a jump. I mean, West Virginia kind of did the same too. They had strong gain of 10% and almost 10% in Louisiana.
I'm shocked California's in there.
Slight increase, just a slight increase, 0.79. But look at that. New York is seeing a 0.13% decrease. What the hell?
Well, that's because, look, a lot of places who have these propositions, Prop 22 likes, lights, whatever you want to call it, clones, their numbers are not going to move up and down that much. They're going to be pretty stable because they're all algos just pinning everything right at that level right there. So
I just want to know what's going on in those couple of states that it jumped, almost 10% or a little bit over.
Seasonal, maybe.
If you're in one of
Could
those
be
states,
seasonal.
hey, good job.
Yep. Yep.
Take
But by
advantage
far,
of it.
Washington State is the best place to drive. Period.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they're like, hey, we don't want to be the best. We want other people to go out there and add to the corrugation of everything. And then they'll probably take a couple of the ideas. But right now, it seems like Washington's the only one who are leading the charge when it comes to better all around and in the right way. Not this top off crap, but actual per trip, per time, per mile.
Well, I don't know about that top off, bro. That I'm working on a huge story on that top off. Seriously, just on me, on my own.
Mhm.
I'm gonna figure out like how much they paid me on Prop 22 every 2 weeks. Okay, and then just figure out at 4.5% interest rate how much they collected on me, and then multiply that times 1 million gig workers in California. It's a lot of money, bro. It's a lot. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right. So make sure you download that app. Link is in the description. Go check it out. And help it manage your business. Best thing is the information. I mean, information is key when it comes to a lot of things.
Yeah. No joke.
With that being said, did you know that UberX is a shared privilege?
For the
shared
rider,
rides are a privilege?
for
rides
me,
are a
it is. As a driver, yes. I'm privileged to put freaking 4 separate people in my car. Yeah, sure. No. But now it seems like it is for the rider as well, Chris.
Yeah. Shared rides are for a privilege. Thank you for your feedback. We heard you and want to make shared rides better and safer for everyone involved. So they heard them. And starting today, we will be restricting UberX Share to riders who have a high enough rating. Question is,
what is it?
The hell does that mean? What does a high enough rating mean to you?
It's like upfront fares.
The goal is to make sure riders are on their best behavior in a shared ride in order to ensure your experience is as smooth and safe as possible. What about in an UberX ride when that passenger attacks the driver or something like that? We won't match you with that rider again. Okay. And then, 3 weeks later, why do I have that same asshole who ordered the ride as I just drive right past them?
Daniel does have a sense of humor.
What else is there to love about UberX Share? Let me tell you, you earn more in less time. Wait, earn more?
Yeah, you do double work and earn. You do double the work and
more
earn
less
a quarter
time.
more.
Match rides with UberX Share. Reduce the time you spend without a rider.
You know what it is? You earn more in less time. So you do double the amount of work to earn quarter amount of more. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a quick survey. How many of you are here? Like 3,400? I don't know. Let's do a quick survey. As a driver, I'm sure you're all drivers. As a driver, 1 for I like UberX Shared, or something like that. I love UberX Share. And 2
I'll
for
tolerate it and drive it. 2
I
is
tolerate it, and 2 for I hate UberX Share as a driver. So let's see it, people. 1s or 2s? 1 I like, 2 I hate. There you go.
Well, I want to know, by definition, what is a low rating?
Oh my God! Somebody put 1.
That's all I want to know.
I want to have you on behind the wheel. I think you're gonna be the only one. What? Oh my God! Look at these 2s. Mech Travels also has 1. Really? You two only love
Share rides.
Share?
Well, you know what? The reality is, I mean, if you were getting a nice juicy bonus back, a few years ago, hey, it was hell worth it.
I loved it.
Now,
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Like you said, you're doing double the work for half the pay.
I loved it when it first came out. Everybody hated it 8 years ago with the 3x surge multiplier and 6 drivers in LA, 6 of us. We figured out how to split that shared trip into individual X trips. Uber was losing so much money, and we knew what to do. We had our own little hack. Thank you. And
Help you flush
I'm
it though.
telling you, bro. But then, like everything else, shared trips, garbage. Look, man, it's not worth the headache. I wouldn't do shared trips. I really don't. I just don't get it. But then you know that it's only like one passenger at a time still. You know that, right?
Mhm.
Because the old days it used to be 2 passengers. And then some people would show up at 3 people. I'm going like, it's 2.
You
2
know?
passengers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. Exactly right, sir. We hacked that app. We knew exactly what to do, how to split a 4-leg drop off, pickup, drop off, pickup. I could not have enough UberX Share trips with a 3x surge multiplier. Seriously.
Oh, the
Yeah,
good old days.
Oh, I loved it, but now it's garbage. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, either way,
so everybody does too.
I like that, but I want the definition. If you are under a specific rating, this
What is that?
high enough rating, this too low of a rating,
Let me make a
this
note of that. Let me ask Uber
any
that.
that
No, seriously, I'm going to ask that.
vague language means absolutely nothing to me. You'll make significantly more. Okay, significantly more than what? You know?
Yeah, no, that part
I
we
want
know
a
it's hocus pocus.
specific number. I want something. What is it? 4.8, 4.6, 3.2?
How is that? It's not making any sense. Like how? I mean, they want more people to take UberX Share trips. So if you're just kind of cutting the branch you're sitting on by saying you have to have a good rating, otherwise I'm not going to put you in a car. I'm like,
Well, it's
I'm going to
kind
ask
of
that
like
to Uber.
it's kind of like it's kind of like that group that's out there. You know,
Well,
you're part of that group until they turn on you.
yeah, but
It's exact
but
same
that's
kind of
very
thing.
un-Uber like though. That's very un-Uber like. They
Because
want people to take more share
they're
trips.
coming up with these different ideas and that, oh, it sounds good, and then they're like, wait, it chops part of our tree. So hey,
I'm curious.
let it chop that branch. That's fine.
I'm
But I want to know,
curious.
what is the rating cutoff?
I'm going to ask.
Specific
I'll find
cutoff.
out this next week. I'll let you know. I'm going to ask Uber, what is that rating? That the rating threshold that you're holding these UberX Share customers to a high threshold. What is that rating?
And I'm waiting to see on Reddit because I know it's going to be on there.
Well, I'm going to find out. No, I'm going to
One
find out from Uber.
passenger is saying, "Oh, I can't access Uber Shared."
Well, no, I will find out by next week. I'll let you guys know. It's probably like 493.
Yeah, okay. I think it's
don't
like a 3.1. I think you have to have at least a 3-star rating in order to access Uber Shared.
I don't think there's any
You're
3-star
just gonna
rated.
put it out there,
passengers.
and that's going to be, because I don't think there's that many under 3. But here's the thing: that low enough rating still can get a ride. They just have to order an UberX, because it's not really about the driver. It's about, trying to mitigate any potential issues between other passengers.
Let's do another quick survey. I like these now. What is your threshold as a driver to decline or accept trips? Mine as a driver for a rider is 460. If you're below 460, you ain't getting in my car unless it's at LAX, because then every East Coaster that I pick up, wonderfully beautiful people who tip all the time, but New York drivers hammer these people, bro. They hammer them. In Philadelphia, New York, they show up in like 440s, 445s. I'm going like, the guy gets, or the lady gets in my car. I go, you're a perfectly nice person. Why is your rating so low? She goes, I don't know. I tip all the time too. New York drivers are horrible. So mine is 460. Yeah, what is yours?
I'm like Craig, mine is 4.8. But
wow, that's high.
There
high.
is, yes, but there is also a stipulation. It also depends on how the night is going. So if it's a little quieter, then I might look at the ride itself and evaluate it at that point. So it really comes down to a number of things. It's not a hard cutoff at 4.8. Like if it's crazy busy or something, and I see, a 4.3 come in, I'm like, no, X. And right after that, you get like
$20 surge, 4.3. You're getting in my car, sir, for sure. Yeah, New York drivers are brutal, bro. They just hammer these people.
We know our worth.
Yeah, I should have worn that shirt. Yeah, but so everybody's saying about 4.8. You know, I get it. Mine is 4.6. You know why mine is 4.6? Because in the original days, as a driver, even now, if you drop below 4.6 for a few weeks, they have the right, not the right, but they can
Got
deactivate
the
you.
rating school.
Yeah, you guys
Gotta
go
get
to
the
rating
rating up
school,
there.
exactly. And they can deactivate. So that's why I held it the same, like 460 for the driver, 460 for the rider. Mine is 496. It's very rare that a rider gets in my car with a higher rating than me. Very rare these days. I have a lot of 480s these days. I used to be a lot like 480, 490s, 495s. Now it's like, because the more people, I guess, take trips, the more they get hammered.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah. Anyway.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Well, interesting to see what people are saying. So thank you for that. Also, now let's talk about a little bit more on the Minnesota wage protections. We did cover that when Joe was on. But
Okay,
yeah, they
so yeah, we don't need to talk about. Do we need to talk about this? Okay, let's start.
I don't
Okay,
know. I mean,
this is
you
a
put
new
it in there.
article. This is a new article. Okay, I'm just going to read it real quick. In fact, Lauren Ballas, on the last paragraph, do you see where it says Lauren Ballas? I have interviewed this guy. He's on Behind the Wheel series. He is one of the few people, handful of people who did not like this 1 to 28 a mile and 31 cents, Chris. He's
Why?
on
Was it
record
new?
saying he doesn't like it for one reason or another. So he's on the channel. Please go watch that interview. So Uber Lyft minimum wage takes effect. A new minimum wage for Uber Lyft drivers in Minnesota takes effect on Sunday, which was the 2nd. Drivers for transportation network companies, Uber and Lyft, TNCs, will earn at least 128 a mile and 31 cents per minute on average. You know how many people would give their left, you know what, for 128 and 31 right now, Chris? I'm telling you. Yeah, bro. It says the rates are so low, especially Florida. Holy crap. 128 a mile, 31 per minute on average for time spent driving passengers, period 3. Period 3, with a butt in the back seat. The second you arrive, rider gets in, you slide that thing over, clock starts. I know a lot of you what they're gonna do, and you're gonna get deactivated.
The door.
Yeah, well, no, I don't wait. They put the foot in my car that ride is starting. I know a lot of you are going to try to milk this. I know that you're gonna do it, and they're gonna deactivate you. What you're gonna do, probably, Chris, you know that 5-7 minute waiting period while you're waiting for the rider? They're going to slide it over, start the trip because clock is starting around, the meter is on. You know, they're going to do it, and you're all going to get deactivated. And then I'm going to get the emails, oh, Sergio deactivated me. I'm like, yeah, don't start the trip until the guy gets in the car or gal gets in the car. With that rate, the typical driver in the Twin Cities can expect to earn at least $34.58 per hour. That's for P3 people. Okay. And before they pay for gas and expenses. And there's a minimum $5 per trip. I like that one. Hey, we need that in LA. Right? Definitely, I like that one. And you know, that's why they probably put that 5 minimum trip, because they figured, okay, nobody's going to pick up these short trips anymore, so we just might as well pay them $5 so they get picked up. 80% of any cancellation fee. I like that. I mean, this was a good bill, bro. They fought hard for it. Customers in the Twin Cities metro area can expect to see about 25% increase in pricing at first, according to Uber spokeswoman. Uber spokeswoman,
Here's
the get lost.
See, here's the problem that I have. If you notice,
maybe
before,
it's my buddy.
it says, hold on. If you notice before, it says for drivers, it's about a 14% increase over 2022 pay.
Yeah.
But for passengers, it's about a 25% hike.
Yeah, baby. Hammer time.
Guess what? Uber's like, oh, we're gonna raise those rates and we're gonna get some more money out of these people.
Uber Lyft never lose, sir. They never lose. You guys must understand this. And Lauren Ballas, a full-time Uber.
You got to profit from any what is the saying? Profit
chaos.
From any tragedy.
Any chaos.
Yep.
Yeah, they benefit. And Lauren Ballas, who's on our channel, Behind the Wheel, go check it out. A full-time Uber and Lyft driver said he's worried that the higher prices might lead to a decrease in demand, but is overall optimistic. Lauren,
see, you know what, Lauren? You're drinking the
Uber
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. I even told him that. I go, listen, bro, because he was sending me so many emails at that time. I was like, you know what? I should put you on. I'm not going to debate
Look,
you, but then,
all right, here's the reality. What else are people going to do? They're not going to change their buying habits. It's hard
Oh,
for people to
man.
change their buying habits. They might for a quick minute, and then they're like, meh, and they'll just go right back to it. So honestly, demand probably is not going to change. The reality of more drivers coming on the platform, it's a possibility.
Look, Uber has the best economists, best brains working there. If they thought the market was going to get crushed, you think they would have gone for that? They were, for God's sakes, they were like a week away from walking out of the state, man. Come on, man. This is good for Uber. Stop.
See, here's the problem. I'm sorry, Lauren. One more thing. Saying higher prices might lead to a decrease in demand. That's like the cut playbook from Uber when they send out those notifications to try to get people worried.
You know,
come on, don't stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Start drinking the show me money Kool-Aid.
Chris, economics 101, which is not applicable to god dang rideshare. Economics 101 says if prices are too high, demand will slow down. Yes, we agree. That's economics 101 in 1965. Things have changed, people. It doesn't work like that. The consumer will always pay more. And they complain for it for about a week or two, and then they get used to it. It's like having a headache every day. You complain for like a week, and then you get used to the headache. That's what it is.
And you know who capitalized on that? Back in 2005, 6, no, well, probably, early 2000s, Facebook. Every time they were about to roll out some change, right after that, then they're like, they sent out a rumor that said, oh, Facebook is going to start charging its users. And everybody got all tizzied up about that and shared about how, oh, I don't want to pay for Facebook or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, oh, no, we're not going. We're going to keep it free. Don't you worry. And they kept the changes because what it did was it just changed people's perception. And that's the exact same thing of what Uber's going to do here, Uber Lyft. All they're going to do when it comes to price increases. Plus, everybody's so used to price increases the last 4 years.
I don't think so. So, okay,
Sergio,
what am I wrong in about the economics 101? We can debate that if you want to come on behind the wheel. I have a finance degree, sir. We can debate that if you like, but not today. But give me specific. Send me an email. Explain yourself to me. Sergio at therideshareguy.com. Please do.
Anyway. All right. Well, we just talked about a couple of months, or no, about a month or two ago, that the FTC was going after Lyft. Well, was it a stepping stone to go to Uber? Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Slap
so
that
now the FTC
monkey, bro.
is going after Uber.
Yeah, this is big, actually. This could be big. Actually, they haven't settled this yet. Uber said this is unfair.
Of course they
and did. FTC had put in like a massive penalty in front of them. And Uber said, no, go F yourselves. However, this is just a probe. This is not the resolved. Okay. So Lyft's was resolved. Lyft paid the $2.1 million and went away. You do know there is 162 million Uber passengers out there. This could amount to some massive amounts of money. This is for the riders. This is not for the drivers, by the way. Okay.
No, of course not.
Yeah. So the Federal Trade Commission, which is about to get abolished, I think. Don't you think? Trump is going to get rid of Lena Khan immediately as of January 20th?
I think you're going to see. I don't know. I think somebody's going to have to get in there and do a real shakeup to actually go after companies that are anti-competitive or all of these things. I mean, look at, not to get completely off topic, but if you watch Gamers Nexus about NZXT and some of the horrible practices that they're doing when it comes to renting a PC, and essentially if you equate it to a loan, it's like 103%. So the amount that you're getting, or the amount that you're paying for what you're getting and all that, absolutely insane. And so what these companies are getting is just like a little slap on the wrist, like, oh, here you go. But they got to get into reality, and not 0.5% of, last month's profit. They need to get in like 10%. Something that'll really have them worried to screw around.
This could go so deep, Chris. Okay, this probe and investigation, and I'm here. I have all the okay. So anyway, as a rider, if you're a Uber One subscriber, which is $9.99 a month, and this like hitting the tip of the iceberg, Crypto Scott S. Yeah, they charge subscription fee to riders for discounted rides, then don't split with drivers. That's not even the problem here. We know they don't split with the drivers, but you are half right there. They charge a subscription fee for discounted rides. Chris, this happens to me quite often when I take an Uber. Okay, I'm an experienced rider and a driver. So when I take an Uber, I know, because I've taken that trip before, right? I exactly know how much that trip is on base. No surge, right? At the same time of the day. Hence, we're going to do our algorithmic discrimination for the rider now. Okay. Actually, that could be like part of this probe, actually. Because this is what Uber does. You have subscription, Uber One subscription. Great. You pay me the $9.99 a month. Great. You're going to get 10% discount on your trips and your free deliveries or whatever, right? All right. So I've done this trip before. So I priced the trip without Uber One. It's $10, right? Well, with Uber One, it should be $9. There's a 10% discount, correct? This is what Uber will do. Uber will price that trip at 11 and then slash it and then put it at 10 and makes it look like you're getting a 10% discount. They do it every single fucking time as a rider to me. Because I know a trip from my house to LAX, let's say, is not $80. It's maybe $60. But that's what Uber will do. And then once in a while, you know how they like for 10 days, they'll give you like flash discount. Every trip you take up to $10 is 20% off, right? They jack it up 20% first and then make it look like they're giving you 20%. And this is what that probe is all about.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they go like that because the algorithmic discrimination is not happening just on the driver side. It's happening on the riders pretty well, man. So yeah, this is it. FTC, good job. Although I don't know if you guys have enough time to finish this because I think you're all going to.
I don't know if they have enough resources to go through the entire algorithm.
Well, no, but I mean, it's happening. It's a very, very interesting probe. I'm going to say this. That's all I can say. So FTC investigating Uber after customers complained the company signed them up for the Uber One subscription product without their consent and made it difficult to cancel. I get that part. That happens with every subscription these days. Once you subscribe to something, I think you just cannot get out. I mean, you can probably unsubscribe, but you probably have to run through 50 different hoops to do that. Uber One subscription program gives discounts. More importantly, FTC has to look into how they finagle the numbers, how they do, play around with the rates, with the fares. They make it look like you're getting something, but you're not because it's priced already 10, 15, 20% higher before the discount is applied. FTC, you should be looking into that, not that, which you will after we do our algorithmic discrimination for the rider. So that's it.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to go anywhere?
Depends. If Lena is still around, I'm on a first-name basis with the FTC commissioner now. If Lena is still around, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that one come from the Trump campaign.
Well, nobody likes her. None of the new people. Elon hates her, so I'm like,
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah. I mean, they might luck out, and it might fall by the wayside because of the transition, but who knows what happens. All right, let's go on. Let's talk about some scams. How Uber continues to get scammed over and over and over and over again. And they can't do a damn thing about it, yet they're a tech company.
We talked about that. We talked about that girl, a lady, Brazilian girl, that was creating tens of thousands of Uber driver accounts. Remember that? What was her name? Brazilian. What was her name?
I don't remember.
We did that.
How important they are.
Yeah, she was just doing it on the driver side. This is on the Uber Eats side. This is euros, 2.4 million euros, about $2.5 million. So how this scam? Okay, honest to God, I just don't understand. As a tech company, how you cannot catch this. Remember, we had this thing in New York City. It went on for like 6 years.
Yeah.
These two guys were creating all these, the bots, and then and not besides the bots, they were creating all these, GPS spoofing things that they were doing. Right? It took Uber 6 years to figure that out. I mean, bro, that's been going on since the start of Rideshare. But anyway, so this is fascinating. The scam was based on a tempting offer. Uber Eats meals at half price. The process involved placing an order through Uber Eats and then requesting a fraudulent refund. Although I've been doing Uber Eats orders lately, I think they're gonna nip that in the bud. You know what they're doing now, Chris? Every restaurant, before, you would just walk in and grab the food and walk out. You can steal the food. You can steal all the food you want. You can just never go hungry if you're an Uber Eats driver. Okay. Now, it used to be shelves, right? Those shelves are all gone at Chipotle and McDonald's, and all that is gone now. Now it's behind the counter. Besides that, every order has this specific QR code. Now what you have to do is you have to verify by scanning that QR code. Once you scan that QR code, that means the driver picked it up. It's not manual anymore, Chris. So Uber is smart. Uber is coming around after they lost 2.5 million here. So anyway, and then it goes, the refunds were then shared between the creators of the Telegram channel and users, thus delivering the promised 50% discount. The channel provided an automated service that created new Uber Eats accounts for each other. This practice helped prevent the fraud from being detected, especially by avoiding the repeated use of single account. Okay, are you ready for this number? In total, 140,000 fraudulent accounts were reportedly created. So how, as a tech company, you don't have some sort of a shit that figures this shit out? 140,000. You know why? Because you go, I don't care. More accounts. I'm going to pump up my earnings numbers now. That my Uber Eats numbers are going to look really good.
Well, not only that, but they're also trying to chase the money versus not.
I know. It doesn't make sense. 140,000.
That's the whole thing. They're looking at Uber is looking at the green versus the red flags that are going up. You're like,
no, because
okay.
Uber is not losing in this. What they do is they go charge back the restaurant. That's what they do, because they get their 20 to 30% commission from the restaurant side too, right? Not just that. So what they do is they go charge it back to the restaurant, because this scam happens all the time. You deliver. It says leave at the door. Any consumer can call Uber support and say, I didn't get my food. And then Uber will immediately give you a credit. And then Uber will turn and hit the restaurant with it. That's what they'll do. So Uber's not losing anything.
That's why the PIN code is necessary.
Well, now we have that QR code. That as a driver, first of all, they're trying to, I'm pretty sure they are, the food theft is through the roof. Okay. So at least they're trying to stop that now. Maybe this is going to be the next one. So
yeah, we'll see. But as they put out one fire, 3 more pop up.
Yeah. Well,
so look, I'm sure we'll be talking about another one that happens in the near future very soon, and say, oh, how did they not catch this one? Same thing. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's move on. Not to get conspiratorial, but Laura Loomer, and you got to watch out what you say, because she is a little too happy from what I hear. For those who don't know, but Laura Loomer is labeled a conspiracist when it comes to a lot of the media, but she's very boisterous when it comes to X and a lot of things when it comes to that. But either way, some of the things that she says is quite out there. If you listen to, she was on the Tim Pool, Timcast IRL, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. They had to pull the episode because some of the things that she said on there, and they don't want to have that on the show. And then speaking of Timcast, if you watched Milo on the show, like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, the rant that he went on about Laura, whew, holy crap. And then the back and forth on X was pretty wild. But not to get into that, she has been banned from Uber and Lyft on some of her comments on drivers.
I think we're going to be banned next.
From
Because
what?
we talk quite a bit about illegal drivers. We don't talk about race. We don't talk about that. I think that's out of place. There's no place for that. There are people trying to feed their families. They could be Muslim. They could be this. They could be that. I think that's a little too far. Okay, in my book. I don't know why you're thinking about it, but you should not be talking shit about religion or other people's cultures and things like that. Okay. And I guess she did enough of it that she probably is the most famous writer that got kicked off the platform. So,
yeah, I think you have the freedom of speech, and I think you have the ability to say what you want. And then if you say stupid shit, that you have the option for people to counter you, and you debate it out when it comes to it. But with that being said, there's also responsibility when it comes to speech. Like, you can't go into a crowded movie theater and yell fire to cause chaos or anything like that. So you got to have the responsibility. But when it comes to speech, you do have free speech to say what you think and what you feel. And then if people agree or disagree with that, that's where the counteract message is. For companies to say, hey, we're not going to do business with you, that's the company's decision to do that. So, I mean, it is what it is.
No, I mean, look,
come on, Mike, reasonable expectation. You know that.
Yeah, of course. But, my biggest, gripe with these companies is the illegal accounts more than anything else. And we know most of the illegal accounts are, from what part of the world. And if she was talking about, like saying Uber will literally hire an Islamic terrorist, I mean, that's I mean, that's obviously embellishing the subject a little bit, right? And but to me, look, there is certain amount of checks and balances on these systems. I believe not every driver should be on Uber and Lyft. There are bad apples out there, but her kind of connecting that, obviously pissed some people off at Uber, and she was booted. Uber and Lyft.
She's also promised legal action against both companies for their selective
Good luck
discrimination.
on that one, Laura. No, they'll let you back in. Hey, Laura, let me introduce you to a friend of mine who can create a fake ID for you and fake account, and you can get back on the platform. I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, why would I have to do that?
I can get her. I can get you back on the platform.
I'm Laura Loomer, and I'm going to be exactly where I want to be. I'm going to use my name.
No, never heard of her. Come on, Laura Loomer.
She's on X. If you follow her, you'll unfollow her real quick because there's like 9 million messages on X.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Look, I got nothing against her, but some of the shit that she spews, it's like, dude,
she's a little nut job. It's a little too much. A little too much. I mean, I'm not PC at all. I'm the last PC person on the planet, but it's a little too much.
Yeah. Oh man, but either way, that's the latest deplatformer. That's the only type of deplatforming they have these days, because you can't get banned off X now for being deplatformed. Maybe Facebook still, but I don't think Zuck's going to do that anymore, because he's going to get zucked if he does.
Talking about X, by the way, I've seen this thing happening to my not subs, whatever you want to call it, followers on X.
Yeah.
Since the elections, my followers have dropped by like 5%, 6%. Every day I'm losing followers.
Why? Let me tell you why.
The bots are gone.
Bots, baby.
Bots, baby. I was thinking about that. I was almost 1,900 followers. Now I'm down to like 1,800 followers. I'm like, where did these 100 people go? And now you confirmed that. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that they're getting the bot farm is
they're
dried up. Down. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, because Kamala Lala can't pay for it anymore. I mean, she went $20 million over her budget. But either way, I think the bots.
Let's answer this question.
Just go on to a popular post and just make a comment. I mean, you'll have like 5 bots that'll like it and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah. Okay. So, we don't want to end in a downer because we have a funny coming up. But
Yeah.
let's answer that before our funny. Do you think rideshare will progressively get worse or go in waves? I think it goes in waves.
My
However,
question
the trend is not your friend. Okay.
My question to you is define progressively worse.
Make
Are you
less money.
talking about in terms of saturation of drivers? Does it
Less
mean
money.
supply and demand of drivers? Because yeah, that's definitely waves. Are you talking about overall pay? I think that's going to still progressively get worse. I don't think that's going to get waived. I think they're going to try to, squeeze as much pay as they can when it comes to how much they have to pay drivers. So that I don't see is going to get any better unless there's some sort of intervention that brings that. So you got to kind of, get that a little bit more in detail in terms of what you're asking in progressively worse, because I could take that a few ways. But the other thing too, a passenger, are cars going to get worse? I mean,
They are.
Cars are getting worse. Let's be real. For the most part,
Drivers.
there's less quality cars out there that are driving, and some
And
of them should not be driving.
drivers are getting worse. I mean,
Yep.
I get into cars that this guy has no idea what's going on. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything, obviously, but they don't do the phone. They're holding the phone in their hands. They're like, I'm like, wow, this is just.
I'm just gonna say one word: enshittification.
I actually DM'd him. He goes, email me. I'll come on anytime you want. So we're gonna have.
Oh, perfect. I love
We're
that.
gonna
Back
have
on.
maybe finish the year strong. We have
Ooh.
Cory Doctorow on. Talk about enshittification.
Yeah, I mean, we only have 2 more shows really until the end of the year.
Or maybe the first show of the year. Bang.
7th.
Cory Doctorow.
Oh, FYI, everybody, the 24th and the 31st, there are no shows because it's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So enjoy with your family or friends. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas anyway. And then also New Year's Eve, get out there and make some money, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
But
okay.
that's
So let's
FYI.
see.
Yeah,
What's
I'd
the
love to have
surprise?
Cory on. So, I mean, hell, if he could come on the 17th or the 7th, so the first of the year, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll arrange it. So what's the funny? Let's see the surprise.
All right, so let's go to the funny. This made some rounds over on X this weekend, and this is talking about Dr. Ali Lucas. And let me tell you, some of the backlash that she got, not necessarily warranted, but the paper that she made was talking about smells and how it could be racist and all of that. So I'm like, when I started looking at this, I'm like, oh my God, she's never taken an Uber where the people just get in and smell like absolute dog shit. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter if you're black, brown, yellow, green, orange, or blue. I don't give a shit. Somebody smells, holy crap, get out of my car, or we roll down the windows. Not only that, let me tell you a fun little story about this when it comes to a smell. One day, many years ago, when I had a job, when I was driving home on the thruway, probably about 3 cars in front of me, I'm like, what is this smell? Like, it was just massive body odor. And I'm like, that's not me. I smell fine. And it was somebody driving in a truck, literally 3 cars in front of me, because as I passed it, you could see this guy. You could see the smell lines coming off of him. No joke. And after I passed him, it smelled fine again. So I don't know, but yeah, I came across this, and I'm like, and for everybody who drives, how many times have you had some stinky ass get in your car, and you're just like, dear God, I can't wait until this ride is over. And then you look at the pickup and you're like, oh shit, it's 42 minutes.
Yeah. I've had my share. I've had 10,000 trips, and I had my share. There's one unforgettable one that you're just about to throw up. I mean, it's just like and I picked them up at LAX too. I remember it like today. And then in the old days where we could pick up at the departures and drop offs, like at the terminals, This guy got in.
Mhm.
He's going to Long Beach. LAX to Long Beach is about 25 minutes without traffic. Holy shit. And he sat next to me. He goes, "Can I sit next to him?" I didn't know. I didn't know it smelled that bad. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. And I swear to God, he was wearing a plaid shirt. I remember it like today, bro. It was the worst. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go pull over and throw up. That's what I'm gonna do. And I dropped
Well,
him off, and he even tipped though, which was, I remember all of it just like today. And I was like, holy shit, this is just unbearable. But
oh
you know
yeah.
what, man?
Well,
The more you drive, the more you run into this shit. So,
oh, for sure. But let me tell. So, just to go in the abstract, it says this thesis studies how literature registers the importance of olfactory discourse, the language of smell, and the olfactory imagination it creates in structuring our social world. The broad aim of this thesis is to offer an intersectional and wide-ranging study of olfactory oppression by establishing the underlying logistics that facilitate smells appreciation in creating and subverting gender, class, sexual, racial, and species power structures. Dude, a fucking skunk stinks.
yeah,
Species.
yeah.
We're oppressing species because of their stink. Bro, skunks smell like shit. You get sprayed by one, you're gonna be pissed off. I mean, but listening to that, it's just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like,
Yeah.
this was real doctoral thesis? Really? A real doctoral thesis on
Well, but
smell?
it's at Cambridge in the UK, so it's like whatever.
Yeah, they're half-ass
uh,
backwards anyways. But
okay, so
yeah,
Daniel is a real life UC Davis PhD student.
yes,
Daniel
it's
is,
absolutely out of context, and I don't give a shit because connecting it to something completely different.
yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway,
You know
but
what that paper reminds me of? The couple of people that wrote the fake papers, like dog rape in the dog park, and a few other ones of those, just to like see how far they could reach it. And you know what's funny? When you go back to what they were submitting, it's not even that bad to compare to what's actually being submitted and accepted from real potential doctorate.
yeah, I agree. And look, there are some, just because you PhD this and that, doesn't mean you're straight up. But yeah, Denver is one of the next shitholes of the shitholes. I think that's what it's turning into. Yeah. But anyway, so let's wrap it up, buddy.
All
So
right.
good news. My son's team was on the road. I drove an hour and 20 minutes to a damn place I haven't been, called Bell, California. Anyway,
It sounds like Yeehaw, Florida.
no, it wasn't that bad actually. But then traffic is just horrible. And anyway, and then they won 2-1. So tomorrow they have a home game. I'm only driving 5 minutes. Home stadium. Thumbs up. But I was going to say, I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida. If you're in Florida, I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida. I will put out all the details with a short video. Please come check it out. Please join us. Free food, free drinks, free merch. It's put together by InDrive. We're coming after you, Uber. There you go. And Lyft. Sorry. I don't want to forget you guys. Let's see what kind of shit show we're going to face over there. Not on the InDrive part, because Uber is going to play their tricks. They're going to lower the fares on the riders, and they don't want to lose market share. But it's okay. We're coming after you. So anyway, I'm going to be in Tampa for 3 days, 3 nights, 4 days, or whatever. I'll put the details out, and that's it.
Nice. All right. To answer Bobo, your question about smells. Think about it's so jarring that the mind is like it creates a certain folder that it's like, do not delete this file. And so if you think about it again, it's like, oh, there it is. Because it's just one of those things that the brain is like, it's so off-putting, and it's one of those things that it's not right or supposed to be right. And yeah, that's essentially the brain being pretty smart there.
No, but I mean, look, man, the more you drive, the more you run into these things, and you got to be prepared. You got to have some Ozium or whatever you use in the trunk, and whatever.
Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, Ozium's great.
Yeah, how's the baby doing? How's the mother doing? Everybody good?
Yeah,
okay,
everybody's
cool.
good. Everybody's
Getting
doing well.
adjusted.
Yeah, trying to get him on a sort of a schedule. So we try to get him to sleep at night instead of during the day. But we'll see what happens. So,
Yeah, it's a little too early.
I mean,
for that,
it's
but
still very, very young. But either way,
man. Yeah. Anyway, congrats again. All right, people. Oh, please go subscribe to my finance channel. You guys will learn a lot. Some of you need the financial freedom somehow. I know it. And there's one other way. Save some money, start investing. No wrong time to start investing. But anyhow, all right. So
Go Bills.
much love.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Go Bills. Go Barca. Get some shit from the Bills, Barca. We're losing. We lost 2 games, bro. We lost the game to the second to last place team in the league. What's happening?
Sounds like Kansas City.
We're having a little bit of because every Monday, right, when I'm doing trading with Sergio, I wear a Barca hat. Last 2 weeks in a row, I haven't worn a Barca hat. We lost. We're losing. What's happening? Please get on a roll like Bills. Come on.
Oh yeah,
Barcelona team. Barcelona. Barcelona team. There's only one team in Barcelona. The old Messi Barcelona. And Craig says go 49ers. Are they even in there?
Yeah. No.
And Jude says
I think they're 5-7 now with the horrible loss that they faced. Man, they couldn't play in the snow. They could not. They were not prepared for it. Listen, a snow game that cold, that ball is hard. That field is slippery. If you don't know what you're playing on, man, you're gonna not be playing your normal self. So they definitely got smacked, and I enjoyed it.
Well, looking at the score, right, 30-10. I mean, hey, look, man, that's a huge home field advantage. If you're a hot weather or a good weather team and you show up in like 2 foot of snow, you're going like, fuck, this is gonna be rough.
I mean, if it was like a Green Bay versus Buffalo, honestly, they would be pretty much on par with each other because Green Bay knows the cold. Any of the open air stadiums up north, no. The only difference is the snow difference because lake effect can come down at a much higher rate than most other snows can. So you're not going to get 2, 3, 4, 5 inches an hour from a clipper coming down from Antarctica or from Canada or something. So yeah, there's a lot there. But let me tell you, going to a snow game, if you can do it, it's so much fun. The one snow game I went to was against the Dolphins. And that was great because, I think mid third quarter, fourth quarter, it just started snowing coming down. And the Bills looked like they just did, on Sunday. So.
Yeah, Palantir to the moon. It's already at the moon. I would be a seller of Palantir right about here. Is $70 a share. Company is selling like 30 times sales. But again, that's not for this channel. New driver here in NorCal. Okay. Welcome to Rideshare, Eddie. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Don't worry. According to Uber, you're not paying for that. The passenger is.
Yes. What are you worried about? Come on. But hey, be safe out there, Eddie. Sergio at therideshareguy.com. Commercial insurance in California is out of control. Uber blames the ambulance chasers. That's what it is.
Well, who knows? We'll see what happens come January 20th if there's any changes.
Yeah.
Try to get them reined in. Hopefully.
Yeah. Let's see, Chicago. Okay. All right. Anyway,
that pilot's filling up good. All right.